is the greatest enemy.
You're scared. Good to know. You wouldn't last a day in the void.
You think I am the one to fear?
Pathetic.
Test, test, one, two, three. Alright, now we're back. Sorry, technical difficulties. Did not have the mic active, but for today's league matchup, we do have the Snails versus Bosco Tech. First three bans of Bosco is going to be Mastery, Kaisa, and Talon. Two jungle bans, one ADC ban. And it's going to be the Azir pick for mid. It's looking like Yasuo is going to be our top lane pick against the Aatrox. Aatrox, LeBlanc, and Viego. The counter picks to Jarvan, Yasuo, and it's here.
Not a problem.
Last up is going to be the bot lane, and they are going to target the MF against Atomic Logo, his most played champ since this started. Let's see what else they choose. Do they go for a support ban, or do they go for a double ADC ban? The Jinx response ban by Atomic. And they are going to go for a support ban, and it's going to be Nautilus, but that is okay because Ryan does not play Nautilus that much. I think a bit of a wasted ban there. See what Bosco's final ban is going to be. Do they target a support? Do they target another ADC? And they target the support, getting rid of the Seraphine. Fourth pick over for the Snails, though. Is it going to be ADC or is it going to be a support? Or we could still see a flex of like a... Actually no, Viego would be more mid or top. And it's going to be the lobby. Last pick is going to be the ADC. ADC looking for a counter into Atomic Logo. We will see what Jeremiah decides to choose for his. And it's going to be Smolder, followed up most likely, I would guess, by a Braum, maybe a Leona. Actually, it's going to be a Lulu, the pivot right at the end, and it is going to be Leona. Leona, Smolder, Azir mid, Jarvan jungle, and Yasuo top. A lot of AD on the side of Bosco. Not a whole lot of magic other than Azir. On the side of the Snails, we do have also a magic mid laner, AD jungle, AD top. Lulu support does a decent amount of damage, and it's going to be the Yunara pick. That is going to be, I think, a very tough matchup for both Atomic and A to Z. And now that bans are done, the players will be setting up their loadouts, getting their summer spells good, getting their runes good, and then we will have the spectator delay for League of Legends, so we will be right back in a couple minutes.
the Summoner's Rift.
Here we go,
30 seconds
starting
until
out.
minions spawn.
Look like Bosco's jungler gonna be starting on the blue side. Snail's jungler. Diego starting on the top side jungle for himself.
Minions have spawned.
We have an early trade top. Good Q by Yasuo. Aatrox taking a little bit of a chunk of damage. The thing is, if Baby Wood can apply pressure to that Aatrox early, it is going to go into his favor. Aatrox before level 3, not the best sustain, but a good engage there by LeBlanc to get a chunk into the Azir. Yasuo just going to face tank one of the Qs. Buffs now cleared from both jugglers. Jarvan moving on to Krug. He's going to get a full clear out of Jarvan. Possibly a gank right after. Azir, first one to hit level 2, as is Yasuo. Yasuo with a good Q. Engage, does dash out. Getting chunks in. Azir applying constant pressures with LeBlanc. LeBlanc down at half HP. Bot lane though, it is the Snails who are going to be the first two level 2. Older LeBlanc now need to play under towers, be a little safe. LeBlanc trying to clear some of the pressure from this Azir. Not much going on early. Couple good chunks, couple good trades for both top and mid. Keep an eye on that bot. Smolder just needs to stack all game. This is going to be a slow game for him. Just needs to keep stacking away. The game is more or less on a time limit usually when you have a Smolder. LeBlanc gonna get another good chunk into his ear and then use your dash right back. Yasuo, good dash in, good Q, some damage onto the Aatrox. It is going to be level 3 on both sides of the mid as well as both sides of top lane. Stable right now. Finishing his full clear. LeBlanc with the ignite. With the damage, the electrocute, and is that going to be first blood? No! Ethan survives with barely, I'd say, 10 HP in. Now we do have first Scuttle Crab going to Jarvan. Jarvan is going to be cleared out quicker than the Viego. Viego, though, we do have Smolder and Leona both pressed up. This could be a nice gank angle for the Viego. He is waiting in that tri-bush, and here he comes. Oh, this does not look good. And that is going to be first blood over on the side of the Snails. Leona is going to have to flash away. That is one kill over. Smolder just pressed up a little too far. Viego waiting in the bush, does have a good gank. Jarvan though, looking to get that second crab. I do think he secures it. That is going to be vision advantage at least towards the way of Bosco. Yasuo still just trying to get chunks in onto this Aatrox. Aatrox playing safe by tower. Just gonna farm up some more CS. CS advantage still going the way of Azir. This is also going to be a 1-level advantage for Azir on top of LeBlanc. LeBlanc uses a dash once again, gets in some good damage, but there's going to be Yasuo going in on the Aatrox. Does get a Q off, but Aatrox able to land one of his own, get some of that healing back. Level 5 matchup now for the mid lane and the top as well. Viego possibly looking for a gank here onto the Yasuo. He is going to go in, and that's going to be another kill towards the Snails, and that kill is going to go to the way of Aatrox. Aatrox, who is down over 10 CS, now gets a kill, gets the gold for it, gets some of the CS back, and the Snails looking to gain control of this game early. Smolder is going to get a little bit of damage in on the tower. Good pressure from the bot lane, good CS so far, 32, 34 on the CS. Smolder, can't see how many stacks he has right now. Now, also level 6, is going to have her double ability now. Zir possibly going in, is going to find a lot of damage, but here's also Jarvan with a gank. Mid still fighting though, LeBlanc is going to just skirt away with about 25 HP. The gank fails in the top lane, but this bot lane still applying constant pressure. Possibly some plate gold here for the bot lane, but not quite as Lulu gets back to lane. Yunara able to hit Smolder with a beautiful slow. Yasuo now engages right back on the Aatrox, gets a Q, dashes out, does not get pulled in by the Aatrox E. That is going to be a Q3 landing onto the Yasuo. And Aatrox is now caught up to Yasuo in CS. We do have the full plated steel caps on the way of Aatrox. A dark steel early for LeBlanc with a lot of trades going on. And there's going to be an engage from Aatrox onto the Yasuo. Yasuo able to escape with a nice dash. Void Robe spawning, Viego is on drag, probably going to be able to solo kill this drag and get the first objective towards the Snails, who already have an almost 1k gold lead 8 minutes in. LeBlanc now engaging, does land all the abilities, but it is going to be the Shurima shuffle. And there's Jarvan now ults onto the LeBlanc, and they get the kill, and it goes over to Azir. Good turnaround for the mid lane as LeBlanc all in. Azir able to answer with the ult himself. Jarvan following up with one of his own. And they do get the kill, but the Snail is able to secure the Hextech Drake off of the Viego, immediately move over to Grubs. Jarvan and Azir grabbing those Grubs for Bosco Tech now. Bot lane still with good pressure. Smolder down only 5 CS, not too much, as long as he keeps getting these Qs, keeps getting those stacks. But Yunara now going to play up with a lot of pressure. That empowered Q damage for Yunara just gonna shred through both Smolder and Leona. All 3 Grubs, though, do go to the side of Bosco. Yasuo not able to find the tornado. If he landed that, probably could have used his ult and possibly got a solo kill on the Aatrox, but Aatrox is going to survive that. LeBlanc now is going to land the root onto Azir. Azir able to get a good chunk of damage back in, though, forces the LeBlanc to back away. He's going to miss cannon. LeBlanc missing a critical cannon there. She is down 10 CS. Now that extra cannon gold also going to be missing. A tower shot does land on the Yasuo, though. Yasuo not going to be able to fight this. As the Aatrox ults himself, Yasuo needs to flash away. Can he get away? He doesn't have the full boots to move. Aatrox hunts him down. Azir TP's back in the lane. Bot, pressed up a little bit. Yunara though, going all in, possibly going to be able to find a kill on the Smolder. Smolder does flash, a good stun by Leona, able to interrupt the attack by Yunara. Yunara does though have her ultimate, has the empowered Q, and there's Lulu with the polymorph onto Yunara. Yunara is going to fall, and so is Lulu. Possibly Jarvan looking for the kill, but it's going to go over. Actually, no, it doesn't go to Smolder. It stays on Jarvan. Azir fighting his own battle against LeBlanc. Bosco able to tie up the kills and take a gold lead advantage for the first time in this game. 600 gold lead, not much, but it is going to be a Kraken Slayer first full item over to Yunara. Smolder, I believe, should be able to buy an item on his way back. Does have 2 assists to work with, not a full kill, so that is a little bit of gold missing for a full kill, but is now up in the CS advantage, 83 to 81. Azir still holding a solid 10 CS advantage on the mid lane as well as a kill advantage. That is going to be plate gold over to the Smolder though. Does have to split it with the Leona as Leona not able to quite get it back. Ooh, Viego though takes a lot of damage. But can anybody get there in time? And no, oh my god, he did do damage. I don't know when the Yasuo hit the Viego in order to get credit for that kill, but we take those any day of the week. Bosco now with a 1k gold lead advantage. Jarvan, an incredible help on the top lane for Baby Wood, who was going to die to that Aatrox, but Jarvan shows up and they're able to turn that on its head and get the kill. Yasuo now looking to get some gold plate advantage. Bot lane pushed in a little bit. Smolder 71 stacks. 71 stacks at 12 minutes. Not bad progress for him. Make it 72 as he does find another Q. As we look on mid lane, there's Jarvan possibly looking for an engage onto the Viego. He does engage, goes in, possibly gets the ult. Sorry, our camera's not on mid lane as we can't see, but he is going to fall to the Azir. Bosco with another kill. Sorry, our observers are a little bit asleep at the wheel, not exactly knowing how to show up the action.
Turret plating will soon fall.
League is a new game this semester. Our observers are still going to get a little bit more used to it. Now we do have this top lane fighting once again as they love to do that. On Bosco's side though, Jarvan sitting with 90%, I think about 90%, maybe a little bit more kill participation as he does have 3 kills and 3 assists to his name. Azir 3-0 with almost a 20 CS advantage, and that is going to be the ult from Yasuo, but Viego following up as Aatrox ults himself, trying to look for a possible turn onto this fight. Yasuo though goes in, not able to find the kill as Azir now going to teleport all the way to top lane. What can he do to clean it up? And it's not going to be much as he is just going to back out of the fight. That is a Viego with the power of Yasuo as they find the kill on the top lane. The ult from Aatrox able to heal him back up to, I believe, almost full half health now. Viego, though, going in and looking for more, but it's going to be the ult from Azir, able to get him into tower. It's going to be 2 tower shots in, but not quite enough to kill the Viego as he is going to just escape. Beautiful play by Ethan, but the flash saves Viego at the last second. Mid lane now, though, moving up, possibly seeing what they might be able to do onto this LeBlanc. It is going to be Jarvan and Smolder in the mid lane, looking for an engaged Smolder, though, not able to land an ability onto LeBlanc, and it's going to be Jarvan backing away into the jungle, looking to possibly go pick up this not mid wave, bot wave, but that's going to be Azir now rotating down. Bit of a lane swap now as Smolder and Leona look to get a little bit more ahead of this Yunara, who does have a almost 20 CS advantage as well as a 1 kill advantage. But items pretty similar. We do have full boots for Smolder as well as full boots for Yunara and 1 item piece. The Kraken Slayer for Yunara, the Essence Reaver for Smolder. But there's going to be a kill for Azir on the bot lane. Jarvan there possibly for the follow-up, and it's going to be a double kill in the bot lane for Azir. Ethan now 5-0 on this Azir. One of his best picks. I expect to see this pick possibly banned in the second game. But as of right now, Ethan is on a rampage. Got 2 more kills to his credit, now looking to possibly take down some of that tower, get some of that plate gold. But it's going to be the Viego now possibly looking at what he can do in the bot lane, but it's not going to be much. He is going to back away as Azir sees him coming. Lane's now in a bit of a stasis. We do have almost a 3k gold lead at 16 minutes for Bosco. Bosco is in a very good spot to keep control of this game. Jarvan 3 kills to the 1 of the Viego, as well as almost a almost a 30 CS advantage on the Viego. Viego, though, does get some vision onto Dragon, possibly looking for a play onto this mid lane as they look to open up. And we do have a fight now going down in the mid lane. There's Jarvan, there's the ult from Smolder. Jarvan now possibly looking for an engage as Leona's chasing the clone. Viego and LeBlanc both going to back out. LeBlanc is one shot, though, not going to be able to help this Dragon fight if Bosco decides to move down towards it. But as of now, Jarvan just going to retreat into his own top jungle, just look for a bit more CS, as I believe Viego is starting the drag up. So Viego starting the drag, nobody there to support, and nobody there really to contest from Bosco as they back away from that fight, and Viego's just going to start up the objective right away. But Jarvan now possibly looking for an entry onto this drag in the bot lane. Hit 2. And Jarvan does find his way in, is able to steal the Cloud Drake out from Viego. Now Viego and LeBlanc possibly looking for an engage onto Smolder, but it's not going to be much. But they do find the Jarvan sleeping a little bit, and it's going to be a LeBlanc and Viego shut down onto the Jarvan as they burst him. They are waiting in the bush, able to find the kill. That is going to be a decent chunk of change over to the LeBlanc, who was being shut down very hard in this mid lane matchup. But now she gets the kill, gets the shutdown gold, and is a little bit more back into this game as she does sell the Dark Seal, buys the Luden's Echo, Sorcerer's Shoes as well. But it is still going to be 2 items, full item advantage on the side of Azir, sitting at this 5-0. You hold X. Now, Azir does have 800 in his current bank. Top lane with 1,000 is going to spend that up. Smolder just bought an item. So Azir probably going to play a little bit more, then go back, get a possible component or 2, depending on how long he decides to stay in this lane. It is going to be LeBlanc in the mid, though, possibly looking for a fight with the Smolder and Leona. Lulu going to be moving into mid lane, seeing what they can support, as Jarvan is going to look for a fight, possibly on this Herald, see what they can steal. But Jarvan, I don't know if he's going to find much, as he walks in on his own into a 1v3 situation, and there's the Aatrox now moving down as well. Jarvan just going to get out as he uses the flag Q to move his way out, but Herald now going to go towards the side of the Snails unless Bosco can do something about it. There is the Azir, though, to follow up. Jarvan does go in on his own, but that is going to be a kill as there's not much Bosco can do to help. But Smolder steals away the Herald. It is going to be a nice ult from the Smolder, but I don't think he can find much else as Leona. What else can they do? But there's Azir with 1 kill. There's Yasuo with the knockup. An ult follow, and LeBlanc falls as well. Lulu trying to get out is about 10% HP, but gonna be cut down by Ethan as well, moving on to 7-0 on this Azir. 1,700 in the bank, gonna look for a back and possibly another full item as Azir continues just this absolute masterclass of a carry for Bosco Tech. And what a steal on the Herald from the Smolder, uses ult, uses the Q, and gets that objective, now possibly looking to get 2 full towers out of it, as we do see the Rampaging Herald move on towards the second tier 2 tower, but it's only going to get to half health as Aatrox is there to mount a defense. Now, what can Ethan do on this Azir? Can he find another kill as Aatrox is already half HP? It is going to be a full engage, though. Yasuo there to possibly support, but not able to find the tornado. But there's Viego now moving in. does not hit the stun as that hits the wind wall. Viego going in with the ult, somehow lands a far-reaching tornado, does dash through the Aatrox and finds the second kill onto Viego with a beautifully aimed tornado. And now that it is going to be the top tier 2 that is going to fall the way of Bosco as well. What an insane game turn. 14-8 is the kill lead. 36k to 32k gold on the way of Bosco. 2 towers to 1, 3 grubs to none. Bosco looking to push their advantage just a little bit more. Now an ult here from the Smolder doesn't quite find its way onto LeBlanc as he is going to flash forward, possibly gets the kill with the W. Smolder finding a kill on LeBlanc as Jarvan's also there to support. Smolder just continuing to stack. Can I get a click on the Smolder just to see how many stacks he has? And it is going to be 125 stacks on, or 124. One more Q kill does get Smolder one more stage of his Q empowered. Still 100 away from the full execute threshold. Bit of a slowdown from where he was. He was at about like 70, around like 14 minutes. So a bit of a stack slowdown for him. But as long as he can find this Q, there is now going to be the upgraded Q onto stage 2 as it's going to send fire not only in an AoE, but also behind where he casts the ability as well. So hopefully able to use that to get a couple more stacks and hit some more of the champions. There is going to be a stack on to Smolder as he finds the Aatrox with the W. Now looking at the map state, we do have Azir pushed out bot lane, possibly looking to set up for this drag. Don't quite see the drag timer. Oh, the drag has spawned indeed, and it is going to be Bosco with full control of the jungle as of now. We do see LeBlanc and Lulu moving in from the bot lane. Viego possibly looking for an angle to entry as he does have Yunara there, but Azir looking to fight. Smolder and the other two just focus solely on this drag, trying to burn it down as quick as possible. There is going to be the Viego, completely invisible. What can he find? Not much, as he is cut down by the Azir, and there's going to be the ult. There's going to be the slow from Smolder. Can they find more? That's going to be the flag, the knockup for the Jarvan, and that's going to be a great cue from Smolder to cut down Lulu where she stands. LeBlanc now trying to find any escape as she is going to just get there, unless Azir has something to say about it. And as we say that, that is going to be a solo kill for the Yasuo in mid lane, but that's going to be cleaned up by the Yunara. Yunara doing what she can to get just any help for her team. The only one with a sizable gold advantage over their lane partner is the Yunara, sitting at 2-2, but Smolder does find that extra kill to help him close the gap while he is down 40 CS. It's just a matter of time as he continues to stack these Qs and move on towards that execute threshold. 137 stacks for him now. See what he can do, but it is going to be a 10 kill advantage for Bosco Tech. 19-9, 44,000 gold to 37,000. That is a full, what, 7k gold lead at 23 minutes. I don't know how much League you guys watch, but that is the pretty big amount of gold to try and overcome this early in the game. It has been done before, but Bosco trying to make sure that it does not happen to them. Now, Baron is available, possibly looking for a bait here to act like they're starting Baron. It is going to be started up by the Jarvan and the Smolder, as Azir and Yasuo are waiting in the bush, possibly trying to find a player or two to pick off to just make sure they get this Baron. But it is going to be Yunara and Viego slowly moving in. Viego able to use his E, show off some of the invisibility, get vision onto the Baron. But the Baron continues to be burned, and that's going to be Baron on the way of Bosco. Flag over, knock up by Sableye. That's going to be Lulu dead. That's going to be an ult onto Viego. Viego trapped in, uses his own ult to get away. Can he fully escape it? He can, as he uses the Shroud to get away, that empowered movement speed. But Bosco now with a Baron advantage, with drag advantage, up 11 kills and almost 10,000 gold, now looking to just storm their way down this mid lane. LeBlanc trying to answer a little bit with a solo push and bot, does find a tier 2, but that is going to be tier 2 of the mid lane. That's going to be Baron buff, looking to possibly end. Here is Bosco as they find a tower. Can they find an engage on the player? That's going to be Leona finding a beautiful Ian stun onto the Yunara, but nobody's there able to follow. Actually, Azir gets behind, hits the ult, and that's going to be 2 down for Bosco, looking for a game end here. Not able to quite get everybody, but that is going to be 2 players down. The block now pushing all the way into bot tier 3, but the Baron empowered wave possibly looking for more as Aatrox does hit his ult, but he is going to be cut down as he flashes into the middle of 5 players, and that's going to be 1 more kill over to Azir, possibly looking for the ace, and possibly looking for the end is Bosco, and that's going to be the ace. That is going to be game 1 over towards Bosco Tech, 25-12. What a game from Azir. What a game from Jarvan. A beautiful game 1. Now we move on to game 2.
You're scared. Good to know.
Doubt is the greatest enemy.
Your Emperor shall return.
You wouldn't last a day in the void.
Who dares defy my will? Pathetic.
Minions have spawned. Ravage.
Alright, and we're back. Sorry, missed the beginning of the match. Had to handle some stuff for the Smash team. But Bosco down a little bit early here, 3-1. On the side of the Snails, we do have Oriana in the mid lane, Caitlyn ADC, Sion top, Seraphine as support, and Xin Zhao jungle. That is going to be a nice ult in from the Smolder. What can they find here as they do even it back up 3-3? Kills onto both Caitlyn and Seraphine. Let's see if we can reorder these. Alright, and we're back. Fix the scoreboard a little bit, a lot easier to compare things now. In the bot, we do have a kill on the side of Smolder, but down 30 CS at 9 minutes. Caitlyn just having their way with the lane control and lane pressure. Jax, engage on the Sion. Fiddle, void grab kill. Xin Zhao now moving up, possibly looking for a double gank onto the Fiddle, as Fiddle does get in on the Sion, able to get the Siphon. What else can they do? But it's not going to be much, as Sion able to land a full charged Q onto both players. Fiddle now, though, able to ult. Fiddle finds a kill on the Sion with the Siphon. Can he find a second? No, but it is Victor who comes in, able to shut down the Xin Zhao as it is tied up 6-6. But the Snails still with a K.5 gold lead, as Smolder just being bullied out of his lane right now by the Caitlyn. A full 40 CS down. You're just not going to be able to do much in that situation. Full level, 40 CS. Ion 4-3 early. This is going to be a tough issue for Bosco to deal with as it gets later and later in the game. Ion, one of the strongest top laners in the game right now. Seen a lot at Worlds lately, and just a lot in the last couple of months just playing the game. His passive is really good. Does a lot of damage, has a good CC, a good escape as well. But there's Fiddle going to be ulting in onto the bot lane. They find one kill on the Caitlyn, find a second kill onto the Seraphine. Now bot lane able to push in, possibly going to be able to get some of these tower plates, as there is going to be a fight between the Jax and the Sion. Jax does land an ult, gets knocked up by the Sion. Ult flashes forward for it, but not able to find enough, as Sion is going to just get under tower. Jax with a lot invested, but does also burn the ults of Sion and the flash as well. No sums on the top lane, no ults on the top lane. Fiddle now is possibly going to die to the Xin Zhao. He's going to dive under tower, but the Siphon comes in. Can a second tower shot go in and find the kill onto the Xin Zhao? And it does. Fiddle getting credit after the Siphon and the last bit of damage onto the Xin Zhao. but a good dive from the Snails to find that kill in general. Victor now finally back in lane, going to clear it out. Orianna not able to get a third tower plate and some of that gold. Bot lane though, what can they do? Smolder down 50 CS in such a hole, but up 2 kills and 2 assists on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn, even though she has the CS advantage, still not able to do a whole lot with it. Only up 300 gold at this moment compared to the Smolder. Those 2 kills really helping Smolder stay in the game. Jack's gonna TP back, get an item, get back in the top lane. We do have Xin Zhao now moving through his bot jungle. Not leaning much, but Fiddle gonna ult in onto the Sion. Sion able to just get away, but that's going to be half health down now on the Sion. Jax, once they get back into lane, might be able to turn that into a kill, but Sion says, no, I am going to go back to base, spend some of that gold, and get my health back. Xin Zhao, though, moving in onto the jungle. That is going to be the second jungle over towards the side of the Snails as they begin an early Drake stacking. Bosco trying to hang in this game, I don't think can afford to be giving away Drakes too often from here on out. It is going to be a Mountain Drake soul, and Mountain Drake on Sion just is basically going to let that character not die as a lot of damage comes in on the Smolder. That's going to be 2 headshots. That's going to be a Q from the Caitlyn. Smolder now needs to go back to base to heal, but 1,500 gold currently in the pocket of the Smolder. See what he can buy and possibly turn that into. But first tower also going to fall the way of the Snails. Leona going in solo. Don't know why they're trying to 1v2 as a support in this, but going to fall is the Leona. That's going to be kill gold over to Caitlyn, and what was already a bad situation in bot lane has now become a lot more dire for the Smolder as Caitlyn does find some additional gold from them. 1,600 gold now in the pocket of the Caitlyn, 5,400 gold total versus the 4,300 on the Smolder. A full 1,000 gold lead for the bot lane of the Snails versus the bot lane of Bosco Tech. Fiddle though sees Xin Zhao moved in. Victor there able to support, but Xin Zhao is just able to use Victor just to get out of the fight. And that's going to be 2 kills over towards the way of the Snails. That is just not a good engage by Bosco as they get cut down. Going to be Herald going over towards the Snails as well. Victor though going to TP back in the mid lane, try and play some tower defense against this Orianna that is just going to dive under and look to get the tower secure as they do. That is now tier 1 destroyed for both mid lane and bot lane. The Snails in a very good spot as of now, almost a full 5k up at 16 minutes. It is not looking good. A lot of that coming from the bot lane as they are just getting pressured and hammered by this Caitlyn. Here we do have Jax though and Sion in a 1v1. Sion still has his ult to work with. Jax still has their ult as well. No flash on either. That is going to be the empowered recall by the Sion. Going to go back, get some of that health back, spend a little bit of gold, and come back a little bit more powerful. Can you hit X? Fortune. Can you hit X? Thank you. We do see the Sunfire completed for Sion, Blade of the Rune King completed for Jax on the side of the bot lane. We do have Collector and Pickaxe on the side of Caitlyn. Essence Reaver has been purchased for Smolder, so a little bit more damage. They do need to back out of this though, as they are possibly going to get collapsed on. Xin Zhao looking for the engage onto the Smolder. He finds it, now looking for the additional kill onto the Leona, and both of them are going to fall. Perfectly set up for this drag now to spawn in a minute and 30 seconds. Jax though looking for a fight onto the Sion, does flash out of the queue, but Sion gonna flash right back, looking to possibly just go towards this tower and get executed, but Jax is not going to allow that to happen. The stun comes in, but what can the Scion do? And it's not much. Jax able to find the solo kill on the Scion top lane. But as he does that, both mid lane and bot lane beginning to fall and crumble under this high pressure from the Snails. Fiddle goes in with the ult, not able to, I think, find much other than actually they find the Caitlyn. A beautiful silence coming in from the scythe of that Fiddlesticks. Fiddle now 5-4-3. Victor, though, not as good of a game for Ethan on the Victor as he had on the Azir. Only 1-3-1 versus the 1-0-5 of Orianna. Xin Zhao 7-2-3, having a very good game as the Snails jungler. Now Dragon has spawned. Here is going to be Xin Zhao engaging on the Smolder. Smolder is going to fall once again.
Red team's turn.
Setting up now for the drag. Victor does find a decent amount of damage onto the Seraphine. Seraphine down to half health, but not a whole lot else they can do as they... I don't think they can fight without this Jax. Jax is really just the main spot of this team, as Jax is going to TP bot lane, look for a possible solo kill onto the Scion. Victor now moving down to support the Jax, but Scion just going to back up to his tower. Play now going around. Fiddle possibly going to get engaged on by the Seraphine. Fiddle, bit of a squishy jungler. While he does have some decent damage and sustain, he doesn't really have a lot of ability to just tank the upfront damage. Fiddle, though, gets a ward in on the drag. Seraphine and Xin Zhao still playing around this drag, trying to set up, trying to get vision control. Caitlyn keeping the Smolder at bay, as well as the Leona. And here we do have the full team of Bosco rotating, and it's going to be fight possibly on this bush. They don't see it, and there's going to be Xin Zhao. Beautiful W from him. Smolder comes in with the W. Scion charges Q, doesn't find much, and that's going to be a knock over by Fiddle. Possibly a misplay there. But it's going to be an ult. Beautiful ult from Smolder. Beautiful stun by Jax. And that's going to be 4 players down on the side of Snails. Or sorry, 3 players down. Xin Zhao still running rampant on these players. And that's going to be a full team wipe on the side of Snails over to Bosco. It was a beautiful engage by Bosco, but not quite enough damage to cut through the Xin Zhao, as Caitlyn's going to get the ace. Xin Zhao's going to get dragged, and Caitlyn's going to get this tier 2 tower of Bosco. Now, 40k gold up against 35k gold of Bosco. A very good gold lead still on the side of Snails, and a good Drake stack, as they are going to go up 3 dragons to 0 on Bosco. They're going to get that mountain buff, which is going to give them a little more tankiness yet again. It's not looking good for Bosco here. They found a good engage, they found a good stun. That Caitlyn staying alive on the outskirts. Xin Zhao staying alive, able to isolate the Smolder. Here we do have a solo fight between the Jax and the Xin Zhao, but Jax not going to be able to do much, as the Orianna is there to support, and Orianna's going to find the kill onto Baby Wood. Beginning the snowball here for the Snails. $5k gold lead now increased into a 6.5k gold lead. Caitlyn and Seraphine moving up, seeing what they can do onto this Victor. Victor able to get the trap down, and it is going to be Fiddle who's able to ult in. They're able to find a kill on the Seraphine, but I don't know what else Fiddle's going to be able to do, as Caitlyn just able to get a lot of damage in just with a couple of shots onto Fiddle, but Fiddle able to escape with the help of Victor. Now, 3 players from Snails up in the top lane looking to start up the Otacon. Is going to be Scion on top of it. Victor now moving up. They do see him, and it is going to be a 3-man collapse on this Victor, and I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this one. He does find the stun, though, onto 2 of the players, and they are going to wrap around this. Can they get him out of his TP? They do, and they find the kill. It is going to go the way of Xin Zhao once again. 11-2 now for the Xin Zhao, just absolutely farming the Bosco Tech players. Otacon, though, has been started. That is going to be an ult from Seraphine onto the Otacon. Don't know quite why she hit that, but we'll see what this Fiddle and Jack can do. Fiddle able to go in, land the ult, does get the fear onto a couple players. It is going to be Xin Zhao now moving in, but Xin Zhao is going to fall on the way of Fiddle. Now Orianna, quarter HP with Scion taking on the front. Jax hops onto her. I don't know how much Jax can find after that. Is going to get knocked up by the Scion and going to fall to the beautiful ball of Orianna right to the face. And now that's going to be Otacon most likely over towards the side of the Snails as they do find a full team wipe. Unless Victor can get there in time, but I don't think he can. He used the TP already once. And that's going to be Otacon buff. That's going to be 3 Drakes all going over towards the Snails as they continue to just stack the damage, stack the lane pressure. Bosco still fighting valiantly to get out of this hole, though. Dragon's going to be spawning in 50 seconds, though. That is going to be the next area of the team fight, as Bosco does have to stop it. They cannot let the Snails get Dragon Soul and get Otacon without any defense against it. But it's going to be an engage from the Xin Zhao onto the Fiddlesticks, as we do not have vision at all in the jungle, and that's going to be the engage on the Victor. Victor now probably going to die. Fiddle, what can he do? And it's not much, as he's also going to get cut down, and that's going to be Soul over towards Bosco. Or not towards Bosco. Soul against Bosco. Over to the Snails. Yeah. And here we do have a possible gank onto this Jax by the Zinzao. It's going to be an ult from the Scion. Jax is able to get away from that. But there's no mana on the side of Jax. He's going to get knocked up. And he's going to fall. Now the Snail is possibly just looking for a 5-man mid push. As they look to end this game. It's going to be the Baron startup. It'll possibly steal. They know he's there, and they're gonna press out. Victor though, bot lane. Gonna find that tier 2 on bot lane. It's going to be the Scion TP in response, and that's going to be Baron down on the side of the Snails. Now looking just like last game, it is going to be a mid push with the Baron empowered minions. It's going to be Leona moving in. It's going to be a nice ult from Smolder. What can they find? Can they find the kill onto Orianna? And that is going to be a kill, but it's going to be an ult from Caitlyn, not able to do enough damage to take down the Fiddle, and that's going to be 2 kills. Fortune side of Bosco still trying to fight for any bit of life that they might be able to pull out a win. But with Otacon, Baron, 4 drags, it's not looking good for Bosco.
Let's see you get out of there.
Ooh. And that is tragic. Able to flash and get the Q off, but not able to land the stun as Caitlyn is going to flash away herself. And that's going to be Leona dying. Zhao though able to engage on the backline onto the Smolder, and that's going to be Jax falling, that's going to be Fiddle falling, and I do believe that will most likely be game unless Victor can help the Smolder do anything.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
So it's just going to be an inhibitor and back out of the Snails. Elder spawns in 2 minutes. I feel like if there's one way back in the game for Bosco, it's going to be the Elder Dragon. However, if the Snails do get Elder, I do believe that will be the final nail of the coffin. Up 8,000 gold. Jax just constantly getting knocked up though. There's the knockup of the Scion, there's the knockup of the Zinzao. Shockwave from Orianna. Fiddle though looking to get a kill onto the Caitlyn, does find the ADC, but with 2 players down, our mid lane and our top. It is up to the Smolder, the Leona, and the Fiddle to hold the line. There's going to be Orianna on the flank, is going to find the Shockwave, is going to find the damage onto the Smolder. Leona able to find an E, but not going to be able to do much else as Orianna is going to find a double kill. And that is going to be 1 player left outside of Bosco. Mid lane able to respawn in 10 seconds. But the Snails starting to push on mid lane as Fiddle's doing what he can against the Sion in the top lane, but Sion not going to let him even get back to base to try and defend. Victor now going to match the wave inside the base of Orianna. There's Xin Zhao, finds the W, finds the E engage onto Fiddle. Xin Zhao now 23 and 8, an absolute masterclass from the jungle of the Snails this game 2. Right after the masterclass of Azir game 1 by Bosco Tech. Jax and Victor now the last defense for Bosco. What can they do? Jax uses the counter strike, doesn't find a stun with it, doesn't find much else. Victor now trying to clear out this wave, but it is not looking good, and I do believe that will probably be GG. Jax is gonna fall. Smolder finds an ult. I don't know what other damage he can find. Victor also going to fall. Xin Zhao, great ult. Smolder just doing what he can, trying to find any kills, and it's not going to happen. Leona, the final one to fall on the side of Bosco, as Sion going to get that Q, and there's an ace, there's final tower, and there is Nexus game 2 over to the MIHs.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So, neither of them are me. I'm Coach Jack. Anyway, game 3, the other team is not able to play game 3, so they forfeited game 3, so we get to win. We would have been moving to blue side. I'm confident we would have won game 3. Unfortunate we don't get to see it, but MIHS did forfeit game 3, so we walk away with a 2-1 win, and that moves us to 4-1 on the year and bumps us into 3rd place of the league. So, for those of you who did join, I mean, insane game 1 by us, really good game 2 by them.